What's up everybody, it's 2Bricks here, back in with a new mock video. I'm sure you guys probably suspected as you were watching the Mandalorian episode 1 of season 3 that I would be in fact mocking up some of these Pirate Snub-Fighters to go along with my other Mandalorian related craft, and you were correct, I have done so. This is the result of slavish hours and hours spent looking at and framing through screenshots from the show, looking at the footage from the trailer, which admittedly was not that helpful, and just kind of, reviewing this battle over and over again to get every angle possible that I could to try to replicate the Pirate Snub-Fighter to the absolute best of my ability. Try to focus on getting the proportions to be really accurate, the angles and everything, which are subtle but definitely present, and the color scheme. This is the leader of the group, Vane, and this is the color scheme that he has with the red markings to indicate that he is the squad leader. The other ones, you basically would just take all of these red pieces and switch them out for gray, and then you get the same result. Those are the regular members of the crew. These are the kind of grunt forces of Pirate King Gorian Shard, who I just recently read we're going to be seeing a lot more of across this kind of Mandoverse series of shows. So that's very cool because he's a very fun design, a big weird seaweed man who just kind of goes around being a big seaweed pirate. Yeah, lots of fun. So yeah, this one kind of coincided with the exact same release day of where I was planning to put out the photos of mine on Instagram. Same exact day that LEGO put out the photos of their Snub-Fighter official set, which is coming soon. So that's very cool. We're going to be getting lots of variety for folks to choose from, whether you're going to go the mock route or an official set route. But at the very least, we'll be able to get the official figures for Vane and a regular Snub-Fighter pilot, so you can put those into your your custom Snub-Fighter that you've made for yourself if you want to do so. It's always nice to have the official figures because it just gives that extra layer of fun and playability, I think, when you can really make it look like they're being flown by the correct people. So yeah, I'm just going to get in today and show you all of the little up-close details and things, of which there are a surprising amount. And then, yeah, you guys can, of course, download the instructions now. Check out my Rebrickable page. Those instructions are linked there, as well as all of the other different mocks that I've made throughout the years now. There are so many, and it's a great way to support the channel if you guys like what I do and you want to grab yourself a nifty looking LEGO mock. So on with the review, let's take a look at all of the close-up details. Okay, so I'm going to start up close here with the details, things that I'm very proud of, that I managed to capture correctly, I think, from what I could see in the show. So you have this little rounded detail that pokes up above the two engines on either side here. You have the 3 wide cylindrical engines, which are very present and run right the way through the bulk of this design here, and they get narrower and they get to a 2 wide at the front here, and I'm using the white wheel pieces to capture that because in the show it does have the tips of these engines are painted white to go along with the rest of the white accenting, so I was very pleased with that. I'm using this oar piece, the oar tip piece, to get the little fin or vein that goes back here. Vein, hey, there you go. That runs right down the middle of this little section here, and I saw some up close or some photos of models that people have made, like for example Mel Miniatures. Shout out to Mel Miniatures, I love the work you do. You're always helping me with these mocks. So there's some kind of cool little pipey details that kind of go down into the engines from here, so I definitely wanted to try to represent that if I could. I have the lightsaber bar pieces in here, which are acting as a way to attach these cone pieces in the orange to give you that awesome flaming detail that comes out of these engines, because they are very active orange flamey engines. I'm not sure what the space logistics of a fire-based engine are, but that's Star Wars, so it doesn't really matter. And then these grill details back here, I was really happy that I was able to figure out a way to get those, because that's a really distinct part of the fighter. There's this big open section here of vent. There's all these slits that run down the back of the wing, and LEGO's official version does have something to call out this detail, but it's literally just another wedge plate piece, but in black, to show that there is a differentiation there. And I think this physical detail of actually having parts that that replicate that works really well in comparison. You can line these up either way. I wanted to do it where they're as close together as possible, so I angled them in, but you can line them up straight if you're somebody like me who suffers from OCD and you need them to be straight. You can also do it that way. It's a different look, you know, ever so slightly. I think both work, but I ultimately decided to go with this look right here where they're tucked in. It just looks more flush with the wing, more aerodynamic somehow, and I like it. So there's that. So I'm using ingot pieces all over the place to show little bits of kind of raised panel detail, which I saw on the design. I again have the white carried through into the gun barrels here, and then we have the tri-tip guns here. So there's a main laser cannon. I'm not sure what these secondary ones do, but they are there. They're all present on the main design, and then, you know, the two shorter ones and the one longer one at the front. So very happy that I was able to capture all of that. I'm really liking the angle of these wings. So we have like the more shallow angle at the front and the steeper angle at the back, and then it just kind of comes to a nice pleasant point. These front wings should be shorter than the ones in the back. I think on the Lego one these end up being shorter than the front ones. I'm not 100% sure on that though. From the angles that they showed, I wasn't able to tell. But again, using multiple kinds of wedge plates to achieve the specific wing shape, and then also angling these. So these wings are clipped in like so to one of these modified bricks with the bar sticking out to get that nice angle in there on the wing, and they just sit in there very, very snug and happy, and they just angle back. So because what I was able to see from the photos is that the wing tips come out back and kind of line up with the backs of these engine outlets here. So getting that nice through line there is really helpful. And I initially was going to give up on achieving that angle because I just couldn't think of a way to do it. And then the folks on Discord pushed me to rally and to come up with a way to do it because it's an important part of the design. So coming up with that clip design was kind of a revelation. And then I did have to kind of rework how this whole engine section is attached to be able to accommodate that brick. And I'm really glad that I did it because it all worked out great, and you really get the correct angle in there. So thanks once again to my fans on Discord. You guys are awesome. You're always pushing me to make things better, so I appreciate that. And then on the underside here, you can see I have a fair amount of sort of randomized greebly details where we have some flatter areas, some areas with intentional plate and modified plates and reverse slopes to capture that feel of the underside of the ship, because we do get a surprising amount of shots showing the underside as it swoops by camera, and there's a lot of fun details that kind of help to kind of accentuate the directionality of the ship going forward. There's a lot of these kind of vertical, or I guess horizontal lengthways type of detail, so I tried to capture that feel in there to kind of accentuate the speed of the thing. So that's cool. We have this little vent or this little winglet cowling piece here that comes out through the center of this engine intake, which I really liked, and I wanted to capture that as well. Very happy that that's in there. And then of course we have the opening cockpit. We can take out my off-brand not Vane figure. This is just one of the Weequay guards from Return of the Jedi, from Jabba's palace. But you can see in here that we have the cockpit, which is nicely decked out with a nice plush sitting arrangement here with the chair with the seat back, and then just a simple console out in front to give the pilot something to look at and control the ship while they're flying. I haven't actually, at the time of recording this segment, I haven't actually finished the instructions, so I may have figured out a way to get some extra detail in there for flight yoke and things like that. But as of the time of recording this here right now, I have not. But yeah, make sure you check the final design to see if I did anything fancy for that, which I may have. And if I did, I will indicate it here in the video. Right here, there will be some text appearing that will tell you if I did or not. So there you go. Using the X-Wing cockpit here because they're fairly widely available in a bunch of different designs. I just went with the cheapest and most accessible one, which is the silver that came with the T70s predominantly. And it has the kind of riveting detail down there. I think that works really well for this particular design. And like I said, it's fairly cheap to get your hands on, so won't break the bank on that one. I mean, this is obviously a small ship, relative to a lot of things, and is not going to cost you a ton of money anyway. It's very light. It's very swishable. There's no problems at all with like stability. It's all very, very sturdy. The whole body and everything fits together very nicely, and there's not really going to be any issues with that. So definitely suitable for play. You can toss it around and play with it, and there's no problem. You can pick it up by these clipped wings, no problemo. So yeah, really, really happy with this as both a model that is very faithful to the source material and a toy. I think that it worked out just great. And I didn't even have Lego's official model to reference when I was doing it, because they came out with theirs right when I was finished and about to show the results. So definitely really pleased that I didn't that I did such a good job in comparison when you look at the two side by side. I think Lego's one is going to be much bigger, because the cockpit piece that they're using is that relatively new, the one that was introduced with the Buzz Lightyear XL ship. That's like almost twice the length of this, so their one's going to be huge. I'm very interested to see how they stack up side by side, but of course that makes sense because their Mando's N1 was equally huge, so it's kind of like, at least they scale to each other, I guess. So that's cool. But yeah, that's the ship. I'm going to give you a look at it alongside of Mando's modified N1 so we can get a sense of scale, and then wrap up the video. All right, so here you go. There is your look at the Snub-Fighter alongside Mando's N1, which of course I also have instructions for. Check out my re-riggable page. Yeah, Mando took out like 4 or 5 of these during the battle, and he seemed to do it with ease, you know, which makes sense because these are so much smaller. They seem, you know, ill-prepared to deal with a fighter of this caliber, and they were really just cannon fodder for Mando. But yeah, it was a really fun, thrilling scene. It's cool to see people once again navigating an asteroid field. I feel like C-3PO really oversold how hard that is. It seems like anyone can navigate an asteroid field if they put their mind to it. And then just, you know, kind of the ability to recreate the scene with either color scheme, so you can have one Vane fighter up at the front, then you can order multiples of the you know, the regular version by just simply selecting all the red parts in the set, and which there's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 unique ones. You can just go ahead and make all of those light bluish gray, and then follow the instructions as you would, and just simply make those color swaps. So that's really cool. And then I think you can really build up a good little squadron and make a really awesome you know, asteroid belt battle scene with all of these guys, and I think that'd be awesome. So let me know if you guys enjoy the mock. Let me know if you end up building 1 or 2 or 3, and what you think. And that's going to be about it for today. So I really appreciate you guys sticking around and watching, and for all of the support. All the mocks you guys buy helps me to keep the channel going and to be able to bring you more additional things in the future. And of course, I very much appreciate it. So I'm going to get to work on the next video because I have so many more to bring you, and I will see you guys very soon. Thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.